All right, we're live. Today is October the 2nd. The year is 2022. Triple option. Mr. 4-1's in the building. And so is Coy. What's happening, Coy?
What's happening, people?
Hey, man, we got a week five. We're going to go ahead and go do a little review of week five, go over a little bit of the action, and then we'll be in and out of here before the NFL action start. So you ready to rock?
Yes, sir. I'm ready to rock.
All right,
What's
let's
up,
do it.
fine people? What's up, fine people? I know you thought y'all was gonna miss us, but nah, we ain't gonna do y'all like that. We just gonna give you a little
No,
quick taste of what we got going on. Ain't that right, T?
that's right. Can't be denied. Here we go. Triple option.
All right.
All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. Week five in the college scene, man. It was interesting, Coy. And before we do that, we need everybody to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit
Oh,
that notification button. Yes, sir. Coy, give me a quick thoughts on week five, man.
hi, Georgia fans. Let me guess. Georgia had a panic. They pushed. They had a trap game, and they almost fell for it against Missouri. But they pulled it off. And I'm sure I talked to a Georgia fan yesterday. He's like, I don't know what my Bulldogs doing. Look, y'all, chill out. Your coach is gonna be fine. Your team's gonna be fine. Every team do it. Y'all gotta remember, would you put everything on a 19 to a 23-year-old? They have a trap game. They've been reading newspapers, but we'll see. Did you get seen in that game? Missouri playing Georgia tight?
I didn't get to catch any of it. I've been at a
You
tournament all
saw 1-1.
weekend, so yeah, I've been at a tournament all weekend. So I'm relying on you to give me the 4-1 on it.
Georgia came out and played a flat game, and Missouri was game. When you get that number 1 on your shirt by your name, everybody's ready to play. So Georgia didn't put them away early, so therefore they end up getting in a little tight little scrimmage here and there. Georgia has not looked polished as much as they. Well, actually, for the last couple of weeks, Georgia hasn't looked as polished as the number 1 team. But Zach said it best when we don't know who the real true number 1 is. We may not find out till middle of November who is actually going to be the one. Should Georgia drop? No, but most likely don't be surprised if you see some movement in the polls because number 2 will move to Alabama because that's the second conversation of the week. Put a beating on Arkansas, number 20 Arkansas. So expect for Georgia and Alabama are going to flip flop. Who knows? Um, as usual, the other highlight is the wacky wild wild west. Y'all look at it. Washington, number 15, took a dive to UCLA. That is typical out there on the West Coast. BYU continue to what BYU do until they play real opponents and they beat Utah State. Ohio State put slacking on Rutgers, which we all expected, and their number 1 quote unquote challenge. Michigan continue what they do, and they beat Iowa 27-14, which is actually a better win than most people think because Iowa's a very game team.
Yeah.
Now let's move on down to number 5, Clemson. Clemson managed to win. Sorry, didn't put a beating on North Carolina State. Expect Clemson. They're gonna probably stay where they are, and I think I said it last week. We don't know what Clemson's gonna be yet because we saw them play. We saw them play some close games. Then we saw them beat some opponents. But the game that kind of stuck out to me was that Clemson Georgia Tech game. Even though Clemson kind of pulled away late, I didn't see a dominant team. So we'll see what's going to happen with Clemson. USC. They beat Arizona State. That's the Wild Wild West. We just have to see what happens when USC meets up with quote unquote Utah, UCLA, and another and those are going to be pretty much the real matchups for them. All right. Hmm. Here's a shock. Kentucky fell to Ole Miss. I believe one of us called that last week.
Yep, I remember.
Ole Miss beat Kentucky 1922, and still Kentucky. They still doing a good job at Kentucky because Kentucky's Kentucky. Seven, I think, ranked number seven in the country is probably the best ranking they've had in probably 20 years.
All right, there you are, Corey.
I'm back. We both having kind of a shoddy internet area, but y'all bear with us. We're gonna get y'all through this. We Let us get through this top 25, and then we get to the fun part, and we can let y'all get onto your NFL Sundays. All right, TJ, where we left off, Kentucky, Ole Miss,
Yeah, Kentucky, Ole Miss.
Oklahoma State beat Baylor, which we expected. Not much to see there. Utah beat Oregon State, not much to see there. Oregon bounced back and beat Stanford handily. Uh, I've already
How
made my
about that?
opinions of Oregon, but the rest of you, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
What'd
how
you say,
about that?
T?
What about the Battle of Tigers?
Which one was that?
You got Auburn and LSU.
Let's see. I didn't get to watch much of that. You have to give me your take on it. Let me look. Let me see. Mm. As we've both been working all weekend. Oh, mm, mm, 21, 27, 17. Didn't get to watch much of that game, but that's about right because they both play about the same. I honestly believe both from a down seasons anyway. And Auburn, we're gonna put a pin in that. T. We coming back to them real soon. You understand? You heard me? You heard me? We coming back to LSU Auburn. Did you hear me?
No, I just heard you yelling
We're gonna
right
put
there.
we're gonna put a pin in the Tiger Bowl because we got some discussion real shortly.
Yeah, gotcha.
Mississippi State should break the top 25. They put Texas A&M down. Um, Tech beat number 24 Pittsburgh, and Wake Forest beat Florida State. That coach is on the clock. We all know that. hmm Agreed. Any other
Absolutely.
match? Any other matchups in the top 25 stood out to UT?
Well, you pretty much hit the main ones. We had the ones going across the scroll. I wanted to get your opinion on, I guess, the differences now at this point between Alabama and Georgia. Uh, does this one game, with Georgia, you mentioned just a minute ago that it was it's going to be one of those games where you have something like that, where it's going to be trap game. You got to be focused, that kind of thing. And it happens to everybody. But at the same time, Alabama, took an Arkansas team and pretty much, ran them out off the field. So do you think that Alabama's clearly at this point number one in the
Right.
country? Do you think they're clearly number one?
No, I don't. No, I don't think we got a clearly number one team at all. I'm not I would tell y'all I would be obviously I'm not a Big Ten. I'm not the biggest Big Ten fan because I just don't. But if you want to, we have here's what I see. Your top four teams is really a top five. All right, and six if you want to include USC, but they got to prove something to me. Basically, what is all coming down to now is going to be Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, and USC. The top six that you have right now, four of those teams I predict will be your four at the end of the season. Um, we want to believe that Alabama and Georgia are both shoe-ins because of where they play and quote unquote what people will see those two teams in. But right now we're gonna the winner of Michigan and Ohio State will determine maybe because literally we can have a situation where we have it's say Clemson and USC drops a couple of games on before the end of the season. You can have a situation where you have two Big Ten and two SEC teams in the Final Four, which will be nuts. But that's the state of it is right now. You got the top six teams in the country are the only six teams that top five teams plus USC are the only teams that I see as true contenders as the number one spot. None of them have separated themselves from the pack. Alabama's played some flat games, i.e., Texas A&M. I mean Texas. Um, Georgia has been flat 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Alabama has not really done anything impressive. Ohio State and Michigan they're just riding the wave. They're beating who they're supposed to beat, but they really haven't stood out to me. And we don't know what's going on with USC because we may not because they're going to either roll through that conference and make it to the bowls. I mean, make it to the championship, or they're going to drop games. Look for the Utah. Look for UCLA, and also look for Oregon or what was the other one out there that I was watching? I can't remember. But if you we're gonna find out if they can make it through the season and not drop a game, because we've seen USC show up and then drop a game to Stanford late in the season. So we just don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
My thing is, I will tell you, I expect when the polls come out tomorrow, the next day, you're not gonna get a consensus number one. You're gonna get votes for Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, and both the Big Ten schools.
Well,
We'll see how it goes. But I do
yeah.
believe Alabama and Georgia will flip flop because Alabama had a dominant performance. Go ahead, T.
I'll tell you what, there is a matchup team, and I have to apologize for some of the technical difficulties, man, dealing with the hurricane. But the Wake Forest team, what do you think about Wake Forest? Victory over Florida State. Back in the day, this would have been like a major, major upset, but still, on the road against a quality opponent, Wake Forest. Do you think that was an impressive win by them?
Yes, it is, but I also think Wake Forest has proven to us over the last decade or so that they are a football team to be reckoned with. Let's not forget they've been in the championship game in the ACC. Um, Beating Florida State. Florida State is not Florida State no more. Miami's not Miami anymore. So you can't really gauge that because we don't know what Miami and Florida State are anymore. They haven't. It didn't necessarily mean that they were going to win a national championship in the past, but it meant that if you went to Miami or you went to Florida State or you played any of those teams, you knew you had your work cut out for you. Now we just don't know what those teams are anymore. They're just part of the pack. It's like the ACC has become Clemson and the rest of the pack, and you expect any one of those other teams to beat each other up and go back and forth, and you just never know who's going to be the number two. We might get shocked and Wake Forest be the number two this year. We shall see.
Yes, sir. Shout out to OG
What's
two
up?
dollar. What's up, brother?
What's up, $2? What's up,
Appreciate
$2? Yeah,
appreciate
that game
$2.
stuck out.
Yeah, appreciate him
That
tuning
game,
in.
yeah, that game did stick out to you.
Yes, sir. Okay, let's jump real quick over into the top 25. Corey, going to show you a little bit of the top 25 that we are kind of foreseeing. And I know you touched on it just a tad, but here we're gonna put a glance up there on the top 25 and see how this looks. Like this board right here, according to ESPN, they're looking like moving Ohio State up to that two slot, and hammering Georgia for the close loss. I mean, for the close victory, and giving Alabama love for an impressive win
Hmm.
over Arkansas. But what are some of the teams in this on this list right here that you do you think all these teams are pretty much worthy of top 25?
No, and put your list back up again. Put that list back up again. No. Let's see who I would take out. Kentucky's in the top 25 because they made it up to seven. Let's see who else I don't trust in there. I mean, kind of one of those things where, yeah, I guess so because everybody else is crap. I mean, this is a
Yeah,
down year as far as other teams. So yeah, I would say one, two, three, four, five. I like okay, Alabama. I still say Georgia's number two because they haven't lost. Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson. I would put USC at six. Then the new number seven to me would probably who would I put at seven? That's where it kind of gets wonky at, brother. Um, Washington, I will put them back at the end of the poll somewhere, maybe 21, 22. OU, ouch. Gee, this is ugly. You know what? I would probably leave NC State at number 10 because of the game they played against Clemson. Okay?
yeah,
I would probably move Utah at 8 or 9. TCU would be my number 7. Um, Oklahoma State would probably make the top 10. Baylor would probably be 11 through 15. Mississippi State 16 to 20. Notre Dame makes it 16 to 20. Cincinnati 21 to 25 because I just don't believe it. I can't put everybody at the end of the poll. Now we're gonna see. Outside of the top five, you really everything else is just a hodgepodge
yeah,
because we just don't know.
yeah. It's going to
Because there's some
fluctuate.
ugly losses. Well, there's some
Mhm.
ugly losses that we're gonna put in the top 10. There's gonna be some ugly losses. I'm just gonna say it like that. All right, yeah. All right, let's go.
All right, cool. All
Ole
right,
Miss
but
might
yeah,
break the top 10 ish.
yeah. But something I do notice on there, Corey, is that Utah, after that loss to Florida early in the season, it looks like they're working their way back into the mix. All right, so
Hmm.
let's before we get out of here, just a brief give me your brief Heisman update, in your opinion. Deion Sanders has brought up his son. So, we could just start there and then
Well, I just want to say, what did I tell y'all? I believe I said Shador should be in the Heisman run. Did I not? Did I not bring this up?
you did. And if everybody hits that
Maybe Coach
subscribe
Prime,
button,
Coach,
yeah,
Coach Prime called me. Coach Prime called me and said, "Hey, you forget about my kid." I said, "I got you, Prime." We discussed me and him discussed this a couple weeks. I said, "I got you, Prime." I said, "That boy, you right. We're gonna push his Heisman run. We're gonna start right here on a triple option. That's what we're gonna do." I'm
and
just
that's
saying, it's
absolutely.
gonna be something great. But yeah, I tell you what's crazy. I tell you what's crazy. Um, After doing a little bit of research, do you know when the last time a HBCU uh quarterback actually was actually played in the league?
She did
It was the
what?
guy from Alabama State. About that HBCU quarterback's been drafted. It's been over 6, 7 years. Can you believe that?
Wow, that's been drafted.
That's been
That's a
playing in the
long
league.
time.
The guy at Alabama State that was at Seattle for a little bit. Can't
Oh,
think
oh, you talking
of
about
his name.
Travaris Jackson? Yeah,
Tavares Jackson is the last one.
yep.
How long has that been?
That's been a long time. You know,
Exactly. But since then,
it's
there's
been.
not been HBCU playing in the league. Anyway, that was a neat thought. And this kid here, like him or love him, like his dad or whatever. He's gonna is he he has the right to be a Heisman front runner just as much as anybody else. If you want
Well,
to
yeah,
really
I
look
mean,
at it, he has not had no hiccups. Okay, I hear about the competition, I hear this, whatever. But his competition is more like for like than some of these other Heisman candidates are.
yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
if there, well, if there's criteria that says that a FCS quarterback cannot be in the Heisman running, then that would be one thing. But that's not the case, as far as I know. If anybody has anything different, please, comment and let us know. But I mean, Dion is doing the right thing.
Oh, well,
He is
I mean,
he's continuing to shine light.
I
You know,
remember when I remember the Air McNair age because that's when I was in college, and we
correct.
actually cut out and actually went and saw him play a couple of games, and there was no doubt about who was the best player in college football that year. It was a quarterback from Alcorn State. They could only give him because of the politics of the small school HBCU and not the pub. He ended up being third in that vote. I can't even remember who won that year, but I can guarantee you out of the top three Heisman candidates of that year, he had the best pro and career.
Yeah.
Just saying. So he had the numbers, and he actually translated beyond that. So there's no question about whether or not that small kid, if the kids got the goods, give him the awards. That's the first thing. Now you want to go. Then we can get to your subject about Coach Prime. Did you hear what Prime said about those jobs?
What did he say?
Prime basically told y'all why should I be covered in a loop? Why should I be why should I be looking for a job that's worse than the job I'm at right now? Prime actually said he said I watch far I see Auburn play. He bets on he rather bet on his kids. He says he basically said the Auburn program to him is going in the opposite direction of where he's trying to go with Jacksonville State.
Yep, with
In
Jackson
other
State.
words, yeah, Jackson State. I'm sorry. Translation: you ain't got enough money out here yet for me. Prime. I think we've had this discussion. Zach believes it's all about chasing the money, but I always tell people when you already have money, it's not all about. It's all about. It's more about your legacy.
Yeah,
This Jackson the Jack State is a place where Prime's egos get fed. Prime's a Prime's a very wealthy man with a very big ego, and a and he's at the stage of his life where he's working on his legacy. If he's the coach that takes Jackson State and ushered them into a Division I program, and then breaks the top 25, say in the next 5 to 6 years, and possibly get a national buzz where they break the top 10, which is insane. Is
yeah.
that would be like that legacy there will be bigger than him going to Auburn or any of these other schools and challenging for a national championship because it's his legacy. That's something that has not been done.
Like the
That's what
Frank.
I see. I see. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but it's just like the Frank Sinatra song, right? My way, and that's the way
Exactly.
Deion Sanders is doing things right now. He's doing it his way, and so that is what's going to have a impact. Because as you stated, I mean, look at the pretty much land one of those type of jobs. It's the time is that eventually you're going to get fired. So why not do it here?
Well, it's not even about getting fired. You can't worry about getting fired because if you're a coach, you believe you're good at your job, you believe that when you go to the school, your program is what's going to fix the problems that the last regime didn't have. Now, what we should be talking about is how long before that number one paid assistant at Georgia ended up taking one of these jobs or his name's being the hunt.
And yes,
That's
we need to, and
yeah,
let's hammer that. Let's talk right now, and this will be a great way for us to enter. And you're referring to, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you're referring to Dale McGee, um, as
yes.
as to, as we believe that he's going to be the
Yes,
next
and
head coach.
first of all, let's get our unbiased away. I've known Dale since we were damn in the second grade, so I will say I'm biased. I played ball with him in high school, junior high school, and we've grown up pretty much in the same corners and known each other all our lives. So I would agree I am biased. So yes, I am. But the facts return. The facts are the facts. He started when he took over a high school program.
Right.
What did he do? He won there, right? He did something that hadn't been done since I was in high school, taking one of those teams from Columbus and winning the state championship. Okay, whatever. He moves on to his starts his college career. He goes to Georgia Southern. He ends up taking over that program and ushered through their first bowl win. Right, in comes Kirby. Kirby snatches him up. Kirby puts him as his running back, his assistant head coach, running back coach, and his head recruiter. And within 3 to 4 years of Curry Smart taking that job, with this guy as his number one assistant, they win a national championship. What about this man says he's not a winner?
Exactly.
Hmm?
He's next in line. He's going to be the
Just
coach at
asking.
Georgia Tech, Corey. He's going to get that job. Oh, we have a slight difficulty here, but just hang tight. Slight difficulty. All right, we're back.
I'm back.
Okay. All right, Corey. Closing remarks on Dale McGee.
He needs to be in line for the Auburn job. Yes, I get everybody says it's a Georgia Tech job, but screw that. If he's a football coach, I want him in line for a top 25 job, perennial top 25 job. Not saying that Georgia Tech is not a top 25 job, but I believe on the plains at Auburn, that is a place where you can go win a national championship. Personally, I know
Well,
everybody's
yeah.
gonna say he's got to deal with saving every year, but guess what? Um, Auburn has won a national championship on more than one occasion. And
Yep.
Auburn has been a thorn in Saban's side. Last couple of years, not so much, but there's been a few. There's been more than once or twice that on the road to a national championship, Alabama made a stop in Auburn and didn't cut and didn't leave. So I'm just saying, you got the athletes, and Auburn puts him in a position where he's actually close to where he is the most dominant in his recruiting base. He's right at Georgia. Auburn's deep into Georgia and Florida and Alabama, of course. I would take the Georgia job. I mean the Auburn job over Georgia Tech. But it depends on. I mean, me personally, if the Tech job was offered, I think if I was him, I would wait.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what
Because
happens
I
in the
believe the
coming
Auburn
days.
job. I believe the Auburn job will open up, and I do believe that he should at least be, if not on the short list, at least in the role of a candidate for that job.
Yep.
Just me personally,
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
and that fits
Corey,
better. And it also for the optics of Auburn, you would be their first black coach, and it would be one of their own.
yep. Defensive back. So yes, man, great information there, Corey. You did call it on Shador, and again, you called it here again with Dale McGee. So everybody, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification button, so you can get more information like this from all of our shows. But especially if you're into the college football scene, Coy, D Woods Coy, he's the man right now. And look, he's not going to brag on himself. I'll give him his due. You know, he played major college football, born and bred, and just breezed football. And so when you get this information, you're getting it straight from a super credible source. And Corey, we definitely appreciate you being on again and sharing all the information. But it's time for us to get out of here now and get ready for the NFL.
Yes, sir. And we're sorry about the technical difficulties, but don't worry. The four horsemen will be back next week, and you're gonna get Zach hot takes, and you're gonna get Orion shutting Zach down, and you're gonna get my hot takes, and we're gonna ride this thing out. So we're gonna be with you every weekend, some way, some form.
That's
The
right.
hurricane, the technical difficulties held us down, but we crawled ourselves up here because we're gonna be here. All right, we're gonna run this. We're gonna run this option all the way into the end zone. Y'all have a
Absolutely.
good day. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Peace,
Appreciate
family.
you. All right. We out.
One.